wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections round me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents to you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay. Sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of. Jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend, and neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive. Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections round me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents to you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay. Sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of. Jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend, and neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive. Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections round me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents do you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay, sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of, jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend, and neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive. Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections round me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents do you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay, sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of, jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend, and neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive. Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections round me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents do you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay, sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of, jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend, and neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive. Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections ground me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents to you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay. Sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of. Jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend. And neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive. Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections ground me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents to you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay. Sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of. Jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend. And neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive. Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections round me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents to you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay. Sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of. Jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend. And neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive. Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections round me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents to you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay. Sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of. Jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend. And neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive. Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections round me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does burying my talents do you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay, sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of. Jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend, and neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive. Greetings, welcome to Golden Sessions with doc.PEACE on KNSJ 89.1 FM. I'm your host, doc.PEACE, doctor of pharmacy, transformational rhythmic speaker, and business coach. As a transformational business coach, I empower conscious luminaries to transform their creativity and expertise into abundant soul purpose. Golden Sessions is a time for us to connect, to reset with doses of inspiration to empower our confidence and to foster global unity. So if you are looking for that dose of inspiration to empower your confidence in the face of any obstacle, guess what? You're in the right place. During this segment, we feature golden starlings from all over the world who are shining their light bright to ignite our light and remind us all that together we thrive. Today we have an incredible guest with us, Jason Moralez. Jason is a single father with 17 years of experience in higher technology. He's an Ethereum cryptocurrency miner and NFT artist who is in the process of integrating his company and other pieces of his original work outside of art into NFTs. Welcome, Jason.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
You're so very welcome. Let's get into it because I'm sure a lot of our listeners are wondering, what is an NFT? But before we dive into that, I'm curious, how did you get into this space?
Okay, so originally, I've been mining cryptocurrency since about 2013, off and on, and trading cryptocurrency also. Last year, when like the stock market went down, cryptocurrency also had like a very giant dip. So I felt it was highly opportunist to put a lot of my efforts, instead of being just in stocks or stock options, over to cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrency actually has a bunch of different areas that you can navigate through that could provide passive income. And I started running into NFTs, which is a non fungible token. And that is just like another area of investment in the cryptocurrency space. So once I started getting into this, I started to notice that this is mainly a platform for artists, which I've been an artist my whole life. I have paintings and other stuff that I just had like sitting around. I wasn't really doing anything with. And I also do all the artwork for my company, Nova J Cosmetics, to where, I put my art on like t-shirts and yoga pants and stuff of that nature. And when I started seeing that these weren't just art galleries being sold, that some of them had like the ability to like unlock content and get maybe like a pair of shoes that have that same art on it. I was thinking about what I'm doing with my business is like, well, I got clothing and stuff with my art on it. And if these people are doing that, I could easily convert over there and just sell the art as like the NFT and then attach my clothing on there. And I'm kind of just growing from there to where like I'm starting to do that with like my actual skincare products and other things of that nature, as well as bringing myself back into doing more art, that I can translate in there, just selling art that I like to create.
Wow. So you're telling me if I have a piece of art sitting here, I can somehow update it or upload it onto this platform and make money off of my art digitally.
Yeah, you can stick it on a market to where, like, let's say I actually did this with some of my daughter's drawings, where like just like her regular crayon drawings that she's been doing. I wanted to save them just, so she could have when she's older, just like some people save baby pictures. And I started thinking, paper is not going to last 20 years, but it will if I just scan these things on. So I stuck them on a scanner to where now it's a digital JPEG. And then I was like, you know what? This will be stored forever on a blockchain. So I could just actually just convert them into NFTs. And if someone wants to buy them, they can. And if not, my daughter will be able to look at them forever, however old that she gets. So you can really do that with a piece of any kind of art, even photography. If you take a picture with your friends, let's say on like a favorite day or a favorite event or like your birthday, and you wanted to commemorate that and send it on a blockchain, you could do that. And if you wanted to monetize that, you could monetize that as well. And you have a lot of different options without, again, where you don't have to just sell the art. You can actually have it open up as a gateway to other products or maybe other services that you can provide. So there's a lot of different things you can do, however artistic you are with it.
It's absolutely mind blowing. You are blowing my mind right now, Jason. Since we last connected, we just connected last week, and since then I've learned and grown so much in this space. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners are wondering how can they get into this space. And I feel like we need to do some definitions. Let's go through some. Let's define these terms that we're throwing around here first.
Okay.
So you mentioned blockchain. What is a blockchain?
Okay, so a blockchain is essentially a store of data. So the easiest way to talk about this is actually how mining works. So when people mine Bitcoin, what you have like a server that actually has like the Bitcoins stored in, and this server gives out a mathematical problem in the form of what we call block. So I actually have a box right here to show you. So
Okay.
this block is like block zero. So if I write a zero on one side, that's kind of like the entrance into this block where there's no data on it. Now, all these miners who are trying to mine and solve this mathematical equation, when they solve it within a specific time frame, they get rewarded in a form of cryptocurrency, which is Bitcoin. And at the end of this block, it'll have all the data from like how many miners were in there mining, what the time was, and things of that nature. And then after that, it's going to repeat to where the next block is going to show up. Okay. And whenever this block starts, it's going to have the same information that was on the previous block. So they'll actually tie together like a chain, and that's why they call it a blockchain, because the data from the previous block records at the beginning point of the next block, and it's just a continuous cycle. So it's like a one-way tunnel of like incorruptible data that's going to be stored digitally, again, on a blockchain of data.
Wow. Okay. So you were just showing us these blocks. Are those your daughter's blocks?
These are actually for my Nova J cosmetic serums. This is the packaging. These are actually just cardboard boxes. I figure it'd be a good visual aid so people can kind of see how they connect with like
Yes.
the data itself on like the end of one block, and that's recorded at the beginning of the next block to start, and that's what chains those together.
Yes, yes, I love that analogy. Makes it more clear to understand. So, when you say mining in the blockchain, what does it mean to mine?
So mining is actually what we call proof of work, which again, the when a block starts or is issued, and people with higher end computer hardware, we'll just say there's specific computer hardware like graphics cards or GPUs that you will use to connect to the server, in the computing power, which we call hash rates, will solve this problem at a specific speed. But you have other people from around the world, all the other miners that have computer power that is connected to this block. You're all simultaneously, with all y'all's combined hash rate and power, solving this problem on this block, which is again is just a mathematical equation. And once y'all solve that within a specific time frame, you get rewarded in the form of a cryptocurrency, which that's called proof of work, because
Wow.
the proof of work is the data that's stored in the block showing everybody that was connected with their hardware trying to solve this problem, and then what the reward was at the end of that block.
So
And,
if the
and that's
problem,
how mining works.
okay, so if the more complex the problem, the more the higher the reward for solving it?
Actually, over time, the reward decreases and the problem gets harder, which since the beginning of Bitcoin to now, what that's translated to is that people have to continuously upgrade their computing hardware. So what graphics card worked in 2008 to mine Bitcoin is obsolete, every 2 to 3, 4 years, because that problem's getting harder and harder. Therefore, they need better hardware that has better computing power, better hash rates. Okay.
Okay. So you're telling me the longer you wait to get on the blockchain, the harder it will be to get on. The longer you wait, the harder it will be.
It'll be harder in terms that, one, there's a demand for graphics cards. So the graphics cards that I bought from my miner last year are an AMD 5700 XT. At the time that I purchased those, they were right around $300. If you go on newegg.com right now or any other site, they're over $2,000, because
Okay.
again, no one was really talking about cryptocurrency at that time in the news. There was no Elon Musk or Mark Cuban pumping it until this year. So after, it went mainstream all over the news, and financial institutions like big name banks started jumping in, that demand for those graphics card increased and the supply dwindled because people started hoarding them. So you go online, there's actually limits to where, like, if you do have the money to crank them out, you can only buy 2 at a time now. So it's going to be very hard to do that.
Okay. So what does that mean for say the basic person that they're not tech savvy like myself? What does that mean in terms of like like getting into NFTs at this point? Like where do we go?
Or
Where do we go from here?
Well, what that would translate, if you can't afford mining, let's say if you had $6,000 to buy 2 cards, but you didn't know how to set anything up because you're not tech savvy, you could use that money to just buy cryptocurrency, such as Ethereum, which Ethereum is the second largest market cap cryptocurrency on the cryptocurrency market. And Ethereum is also kind of like your golden tickets to get in and access NFTs on NFT markets. Most NFTs that are purchased with Ethereum. So if instead of investing in mining equipment, you could just invest in the cryptocurrencies or other programs out there related.
Okay, okay. So there's all these miners out there who have the tools, who have the technology, who know what they're doing, what they're mining. And then there's those who don't quite have that technology and that skill set, so they buy cryptocurrencies so that they can be a part of this system and make money and grow their finances in that way. And then there's another path, what I'm getting, there's another path avenue that you can go about, which is in creating your own NFTs or putting your own art onto this blockchain and translating that into NFTs, so non-fungible tokens, where now you can make money in that way. So am I understanding this
Yeah,
correctly?
yeah. So how you want to see it is like just how, like, a stock is like an appreciating asset, and it can also depreciate depending on how the market fluctuation is. Cryptocurrencies as well as NFTs work in a similar fashion where they can appreciate. So there's a lot of NFTs out there that were either free or maybe only like $20, or let's just say under $100, that are now, several $1,000s worth because they appreciated in value.
Okay. 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 There's so many questions I have, but we have to take a quick break, and I'm sure our listeners are wondering how to go about getting into this industry. So you're listening to Golden Sessions with doc.PEACE on KNSJ 89.1 FM with our incredible guest, Jason Moralez. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to jump back into this NFT and cryptocurrency realm. Stay tuned. Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections drown me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents do you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay. Sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of. Jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend. And neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive. Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum.
But we're back. You're listening to Golden Sessions with doc.PEACE on KNSJ 89.1 FM. I'm doc.PEACE and we are here with our incredible guest, Jason Moralez. Let's get back into it. So we spoke in our first session, or first part of our session, about NFTs. Can you define that further? What is an NFT?
Okay, well, NFT stands for non-fungible token. And typically what most non-fungible tokens are means that this is a one-of-a-kind item or asset that, because it's stored on the blockchain, which again, this is incorruptible data, it's not going anywhere, it's burned in that data. That means that it's stored as like, this is the original piece of this work. And if anyone else copies it, this has already been burned with timestamps, etc., to where we know that this is the original. So imagine if you had a Mona Lisa type art piece and you didn't want anyone to copy it, or even music, because you can NFT music and other things. Music is a type of art. Let's say you didn't want someone to pirate your music, and if you did it on a blockchain, that would prevent people from saying, oh, well, this is mine, or stealing it completely, because that data is stored on this blockchain with timestamps, etc., of like, who's the person who minted it, what all the information is, like the descriptions and other stuff about what the NFT is, and so forth, like that. So it's incorruptible data tied to an asset.
Okay, so wow, that's such a great way to define it. So it sounds like it's the ultimate copyright trademark of your art.
Yeah, pretty much. You can do copywriting, pretty much. Yeah, burn it on there, say, hey, this is mine, it's no one else's, like I'm the originator of this work.
Okay, but to do all that, it costs money to do trademarking and copyright. What kind of investment would you need to make in terms of time and energy to put it on the blockchain?
Okay, so that's a two-part actually answer. So first, you're going to need Ethereum if you're using most of the NFT markets like OpenSea.io, which is an NFT market where you can go
Yeah.
trade and buy and sell NFTs. You're going to need Ethereum, which you'll have one initial fee, and that's a fluctuating fee, and it's going to be about maybe $100 to $150 worth of Ethereum plus a gas fee, which a gas fee is a transaction fee on top of your fee. So if you were to go to like an ATM or any other banking transaction, you have a transaction fee associated with that.
Mm-hmm.
With Ethereum, you have a gas fee on top of your actual base fee, and that's typically going to be a one-time thing on OpenSea. And then after that, you can mint one of one copies of different files such as MP3, MP4, GIFs, JPEGs, etc., to create individual NFTs for free after that.
Okay, so it's just a one-time fee. It's not just once a year or
No, it's a
one
one it's a
time.
one-time fee. You initiate your account saying, "Hey, I want to be a creator of NFTs." It will walk you through the process of to pay for it with Ethereum, and then after that, it's all on you to do the work.
Okay, okay. And so you mentioned these gas fees. How do gas fees correlate with NFT and cryptocurrency?
Okay, so a lot of different cryptocurrencies, again, they have gas fees associated with them. So if I use Ethereum and let's say I want to send Ethereum from my cryptocurrency wallet to your cryptocurrency wallet, it's going to cost a gas fee, which again is a transaction fee. So that gas fee is a fluctuating fee depending on the time of day and what day of the week, as well as how much congestion is in the market. So if there's a lot of people buying a bunch of Ethereum and they're all trading Ethereum and trading NFTs, which use Ethereum, there might be a spike in gas fees. So there's a fluctuation with this transaction fee that's associated of sending Ethereum from one person to another person, or buying an NFT, or even trading cryptocurrency. So if I wanted to trade Ethereum for another completely different cryptocurrency, there would be a gas fee associated with that.
Okay. And when you say gas fee, is this the fee that we see when we drive past Shell or we drive past Chevron? Is that it? How do
It
you
could
know
be
what fee?
similar.
How do
It
you
could be
track these gas
similar. It
fees?
could be similar. So whenever you actually uh use what we call a smart contract, which is going to be like what you initiate your transaction with, it'll tell you what your gas or recommended gas fee should be at that current time to make your transaction go through. But there's also other resources online. Like if you were to do a Google search and just type in Ethereum gas, there would be a lot of resources which we use as tools, some of which will give you data based off like the past 2 weeks, what the gas fees were by hour. So every hour of every day, it'll tell you what that gas fee was during that hour, and then it'll give you an average to where you can forecast and plan, okay, this will be the cheapest time of this day, or this time of the week, and this is when I'm going to do my Ethereum transactions. And then there's also other tools that will give you like the up to date, like at this second, this is what the gas fee is. So you can use these tools and resources, which I actually made a video on this last night on my YouTube channel, Nova Jade NFT and Cryptocurrency. And it explains exactly how to use these tools in correlation to make sure that you get the cheapest gas fees possible while you're doing your Ethereum trades.
Okay, okay. So that's where it plays that role. It's anytime you trade with Ethereum, Ethereum specifically, or other forms of trade.
There's several other cryptocurrencies
Mm-hmm.
that use transaction fees.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them actually have their own side cryptocurrency, like VeChain has another cryptocurrency called VeThor, and VeThor is the gas fee. And the great thing about that,
Okay.
VeChain, if you hold VeChain every day, you'll get airdropped a small amount of VeThor. So that VeThor you're getting for free, and then you can also use it for gas to do all your transactions too. So it just depends on what cryptocurrency you're in, and if you're using different NFT markets. Some NFT markets don't use Ethereum because the gas fees. Everyone's just trying to work their way around and provide their own solution for this.
Okay, so bottom line, anytime if you are using Ethereum, anytime that you make a transaction, or even the first time you get into that space, so the first time you make your OpenSea.io account, you want to check this gas fee to see, make sure that you're paying the
Yeah,
lowest
you want
amount,
to make
that
sure you're
lowest fee.
using online tools and resources that can help you forecast as well as tell you what the current gas rate is. What that is you just trying to be very efficient with like your Ethereum to where like you're not paying too much if you don't have to.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so I understand the reason why this whole cryptocurrency space is getting bigger and bigger, it's growing exponentially from my understanding, is because it's governed by the people. So can you go into more of that and what this whole DAO is and how this community and space works?
Okay, so what a DAO is, DAO, actually is an acronym for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. And to break that down, what that means is that you have community projects, whether it's behind cryptocurrencies or NFT space or even decentralized finance, to where there's not a president who's the sole decider of what direction this is going or what kind of decisions they're going to make for these projects. It's actually a community decision. So in cryptocurrency, if there's a DAO for a cryptocurrency project, if you're a holder of a specific cryptocurrency that has their own DAO, that gives you kind of like a hand in with your vote during the times that they're like, hey, like we have a direction we might want to turn our blockchain company into, but we want the community to decide. And then everybody who's has an asset on that blockchain, whether it's cryptocurrencies or NFTs, they have their own say in voting on the direction that everything is going to go. So you don't have to worry about just one president or just a small group of board members deciding and like the community doesn't want these things. Everybody who is involved has a say. Plus, a good thing about DAOs, like there's a NFT project, Dead Devil Society, that I actually like because their DAO has people vote for different artists that they want to support and do collaborations for. So let's say if you are an artist and I was like, hey, to the boss of Dead Devil Society, like this artist is really good, she has good work, this is her background, and if he looked at your work, he could bring it in and tell the rest of the community and be like, hey, like do y'all want this artist to do collaborative work with us and stuff, and then the whole community can go ahead and put their votes in and give a yay or nay rather than just his sole decision.
Whew, I love this. So it sounds like this is a co-creative space. And I don't know if you know this, but co-creation is my love language. So this is incredible. I absolutely love this. Being a spoken word artist, like this is why I'm so drawn into this NFT space. So for those of you listening, if you're an artist of any type, this sounds like something that we should all go into. This community where we can all grow and thrive together. So I'm really excited to learn more about this space. I'm going to ask one more question, and I think that's going to be the end of our time for today. I keep hearing this term DeFi. What does that mean?
DeFi is decentralized finance. So
Okay.
decentralized is kind of the same way. Anytime most cryptocurrency blockchains and NFT programs are decentralized, which fit into what a DAO is, to where there's not one person in charge. Okay. There's not like a
Okay.
president or anyone. Everything is very community based. uh,
Yes. Yes.
DeFi programs that most people are familiar with are something like staking. So imagine if you had a banking savings account, how that can accrue interest or return of interest as the time you hold in there. With fiat money, that's usually like 0.01% or something. But on DeFi staking, if you lock your cryptocurrency in a staking program, which is like a savings account, some of these ROIs can be anywhere from like 10%, 20%, some of them a couple of 100%.
Wow.
So your return of interest can be a lot bigger, and it is also determined by the community interaction of
Okay.
what the benefit is going to be on decentralized finance, because again, everything's community driven, not just from the top.
Wow, that's so incredible. So good, Jason. You have given us so much insight into this space of NFTs and cryptocurrency. Thank you so much for being here with us.
It's pleasure's all mine.
How can we connect with you further?
Actually, if you go on Twitter, which that's where most NFT and crypto gurus are at, if you go on Twitter at Nova Jade Cosmetics, my Twitter handle is at Nova Jade Cos. I'll go ahead and spell that. It's capital N O or capital N lowercase OVA, capital J lowercase ADE, capital C lowercase OS, Nova Jade Cos. And you can send me a DM or anything and we can connect there and talk more.
Nova Jade Cause. Yes, let's tweet it. Let's tweet our way into this NFT space. Let's go. You're listening to Golden Sessions with doc.PEACE on KNSJ 89.1 FM. That concludes today's session with the incredible Jason Moralez. Make sure to hit him up, connect with him on Twitter. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you got that dose of inspiration you were welcoming and the priceless reminder that you are indeed gold. You have so much value to bring, and we all are. We all do. And together we thrive. I'm doc.PEACE. Shine on.
Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections round me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents to you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay. Sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of. Jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend. And neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive. Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird,
because we're doing the awesome. Okay, let's do it. You know, Jason and I were having this conversation after we ended our session, and we decided to do a little extension. So I asked him this question. I wanted to share with you all here who are with us live. Why? Why go into this space?
I feel like the NFT space is changing lives. You know, there's some people like what they were doing last year because of like COVID and stuff. They either got furloughed or had some other obstacle presented because of like, you know, the worldwide situation of like, you know, people losing their jobs, etc. To where NFTs with like art and being able to convert what you were already good at into the NFT space has given somebody a brand new platform to where they can succeed on their own without having to like answer to a boss or maybe like a job that you don't like. One good example, and I actually just started connecting with this guy probably about a month or so ago, calls himself Spotty Wi-Fi. Okay, so what I know about Spotty Wi-Fi, and y'all can listen to him, y'all can look him up on YouTube and everything. He has an
Oh, I will.
avatar of what they call a CryptoPunk, which a CryptoPunk is like the OG NFT or whatever that you know, some of these are selling for millions of dollars right now. Okay, they've been at like Christie's auctions, etc. So Spotty Wi-Fi, from what I know, got furloughed last year during COVID and started converting his like alter personality on social media into like what his avatar represented, which is a crypto punk that looks like it has like acne and stuff. So he created a name, Spotty Wi-Fi, for this and started rapping about NFTs and cryptocurrency. And you know, a lot of people who are in NFTs and cryptocurrency, like some people don't understand the lingo and stuff. So the way he put a lot of this lingo into like this rap and this music that he did like really connected with a lot of people in the space. And recently, I think maybe like 2 weeks ago, he released his own Spotty Wi-Fi NFT album, started doing auctions, sold out his album and made a lot of Ethereum on it. So it can be very life-changing for people who might have before in the regular life, before cryptocurrency, before NFTs, didn't have a platform to succeed on. And now, since things are decentralized and a lot of things is community driven, to where like your community effort and your community energy applied to these communities will actually hone what the benefit is, to where, you know, some people will go to like a regular job working for someone else and they do a whole lot of work and they don't get to see these benefits or whatever. But that's because someone's controlling things at the top, to where here in NFT space, especially it being decentralized and being community driven, your effort can really be applied and you can actually benefit from it monetarily and just change your life into a completely different direction.
Whew, you're speaking my language right now, Jason. So when you say he made a lot of Ethereum from there, can you drop some numbers here? Let us understand
Uh,
how much you can make in this area.
I'll just say I don't want to give the wrong number, but I'm going to say he made thousands off of it in a very short time frame of him selling out his complete album online.
So thousands of Ethereum.
I think it's thousands of Ethereum, I believe, but I'll go ahead and just say dollars. So it's enough to change your life and give you more than like a year's salary than what you've had before.
Like 5 figures, 6 figures.
I would say about that. And
Woo!
it's also these NFTs, another thing. Let's say if you sell an NFT on the secondary market, you can have royalty. So let's say I sell you one of my NFTs and I set a royalty of like 4%, and then you go sell it to one of your buddies. During that transaction, I also make money off of. And if they go sell it to someone else, then I'm also going to make. So there, you can monetize this as like a long-term income, depending how you play it and stuff. Or you can just, you know, if you don't want royalties, you can just sell it and then you won't make anything. But most people are going to do some sort of royalty on it. That way, when it keeps trading hands, the NFTs, you can keep making money.
Okay, so success breeds success of yourself and others.
Yes, exactly. And also, you know, because it's decentralized, community driven, like your efforts are actually going to be recognized if you keep driving your work.
Wow. Wow. Okay, I'm glad that we hopped back on to share that because for me, I'm always wondering what the why is. Not just the what, not the how, but the why. Because that's what's going to drive action. That's what's going to drive forward movement. That's what's going to get you to get it going when you understand the why. So thank you so much for sharing more of the why, this story of success. And I know that you recently just joined. How long have you been in the NFT world? How long have you been
Uh, I
having
would say
your
maybe since last September,
last
which I
September?
got into blockchain gaming. So there's some games where like if you play, they call play to earn.
Okay.
And as you play them, you collect game items like in old game items, but they're NFTs. So like let's say if you played a game and you got like a sword, you could put that sword out on the NFT market and sell it to someone else. Let's say if it's like a really rare item in a game. So you playing the game can actually be monetized by your time and effort playing the game because it's play to earn. So the more you play it, some of these, the more NFTs you're going to earn, which if you want, you could go sell those NFTs if that's your thing or not.
Wow. Yeah, so here on this radio station, there's a lot of gamers who listen. So I think that this is going to be some valuable information for them as well. Whew. You've taught us so much, Jason. I am so very much impressed with the knowledge that you've provided, the knowledge that the insight that you have, and the willingness you are to freely provide this insight is absolutely beautiful.
I
So thank
appreciate that.
you are so very welcome. I'm really excited to go deeper into this NFT space personally, being a spoken word artist. I'm really looking forward to seeing how I can translate my spoken word poetry into this NFT non-fungible token and monetize in that way. And not only that, but to also see what other ways I can co-create with the community in this space. I just love the energy of everyone who's they're just ready and willing to come together. And
Oh yeah,
that,
most definitely. Oh, can I say something real quick?
yeah, definitely.
Actually, because like I do my own art, I actually have like NFTs that are attached to clothes. So I have this shirt right here, and I'm gonna send this shirt to you.
Oh,
And I'm actually gonna give you the shirt that goes to like one of my NFTs. So we can talk about how I can get that to you after. But I
awesome.
wanted to make
Thank you.
sure that I give you something that's related to this. That way you have it to remember by.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love that. I will definitely rock that shirt. I appreciate that. And just on that note, since we're already going it over, I have another question for you. So, how much can you share with us on what what does it actually entail to put your art on the NFT space? So I know we kind of did some dabbling on like some ideas for me to go about putting my spoken word poetry into this space. What could you just share with us briefly, like um, an overview of what that would look like? So how did you get your shirt into this space? How would you get your poetry into this space? How would I get my spoken word into this space? Where do you
Okay,
start?
so whenever you go through the process of creating an NFT, you'll pick what your image is or what you want to represent. So I actually have a poetry book, the Book of Storms, that I wanted to sell. So the art that was for the cover of that book, I posted up as the NFT. Okay, and down in the description that you fill out, I told him like, hey, whenever you buy this NFT, the unlockable content on here that I'm applying is a poetry book. I went through saying like how many pages there was, how many poems were in there, kind of painting a picture for them so they would know like, hey, when I buy this piece of art, this is what I'm going to get. And when they buy the NFT, they'll unlock what they call unlockable content, which was actually just instructions. It was just written, typed out instructions that
Mm.
said, hey, if you're the purchaser of this NFT, email me at this email address, put this in the subject line, and then leave me your wallet address just so I can like verify that you're the buyer. And then I will just email you my PDF poetry book back, which you could flip that a lot of ways. Like, let's say if you had a video, you could send them a video or like a private link.
Yeah.
With you could send them that with like an access code and stuff. There's a lot of different ways. It's just depending on how creative you can be and how resourceful you are.
Yeah. So what comes to mind is seeing how you can automate that as well, automate that process. Wow. Okay. This is so good. And I know we can go on forever and ever and ever on this topic. All the questions that are coming to mind right now, but I want to respect your time and that of our listeners. So thank you once again, Jason, for coming on Golden Sessions with doc.PEACE and sharing with us your insight, your wisdom, your light. Really appreciate you. Okay. Bye.
Later.
Keep shining.
Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections round me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents to you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay. Sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of. Jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend. And neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive.